Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this Create a Sim video, I am creating a family that includes two teens. One is a vampire and one is a werewolf. Basically, these two are brothers and the two hate each other. It wasn't always this way. When they were younger, when they were children, they were super close. But once they got older into teens, they started to despise each other because that's when the werewolf brother became a werewolf. And so the vampire teen, they both just, because of their cults, they just couldn't handle each other anymore. And so in this cast video, I started with the vampire teen. I feel like for me, it's easier to create vampires just because I used to watch like Vampire Diaries all the time. And you know, I was obsessed with Damon and Stefan. Of course, the feel that vampires are paler. I feel like it's much easier. I also love to give my vampires red eyes. I feel like it works. And when I see a sim with pale face, red eyes, I'm like, that's a vampire. It doesn't mean they are. It doesn't have to be. But for me, that's what works. And so with the pale face, I gave the sim darker hair. I gave him black hair as a contrast. Just because I think it works well. And it, even with I think vampires are viewed as beautiful and perfect. And so for him, I really tried to show that while showing some type of flaws. I gave him like darker eye circles. And then of course for his vampire form, it's much more chaotic, as I gave him, I had these CC, veiny type of things. Of course, I'm going to link my CC in the description as well. And yeah, like I have a really hard time creating occult sims as much as I like to create them, just because I feel like I don't hate what the Sims game provides for occult sims, but it's very hard for me to create occult sims just because I just don't know the right way to make them. Like, seeing from especially the vampires pack and seeing how vampires are, it's like the way Vlad's vampire form is insane to me. And for me, I don't like to make the vampire form too different from the sim form, just because, like, you know, they just turn around black smoke, you know, they're not leaving and changing up. I like to think of, if they're transforming, maybe they're growing teeth in that moment, their ears are growing a bit, their nails are growing, their eyes are changing color. It doesn't sound any better. They're probably changing clothes. But yeah, that's kind of what I went for. So his vampire form is the same as his regular form. It's just tweaks on those features, like the veiny stuff. I think the eyes I made a bit more, I gave like bright red with the black, the white part of the eye became black. I gave him pointier ears, I gave him fangs, of course. And as well as even the hair, I kind of made the hair looser just because I didn't, I like the idea of like he's a well put together sim, but then when he becomes a vampire, he kind of lets loose and gets crazy because probably he's trying to feed, or it's a bit more of his chaotic side comes out. Yeah, like I really love this dynamic, and especially for high school stories, since I gave both boys a soulmate aspiration. In the description I say like what happens if they fell for the same girl. I think it's perfect for a storyline. Like maybe they're forced to go to the same high school together. They do live with their father, even though I didn't put the father in this Create a Sim, but I'll definitely, if I use CC on him, I think I did, I'll link it as well, as I'm gonna upload this to the gallery. And basically the dynamic could be like maybe they fall for the same girl, in which the vampire finds the girl his mate, and the werewolf finds a girl or a guy, can be anyone, as their mate, and then the vampire finds that same person as their lover, you know, and so that kind of worsens their relationship. And I think there could be some type of resolution found between the individuals, in which the story can become even more chaotic, or it can become wholesome, in which maybe one of them gets that mate and the other finds someone else that they actually love, or none of them gets the mate and their bond grows back, you know. Bros before hoes, I don't know. I'm just playing. Or it can just become terrible in which one of them gets the mate and the other is lonely, or it creates a whole generations of vampires versus werewolves. So I thought it was interesting to create some type of replayable household in which it can be different every time, and I thought it was perfect for this werewolf pack. I saw on Reddit someone did some whole type of Monster High feel with creating occult teens, and I guess that kind of heightened my inspiration or heightened my drive to do this, as well as like I haven't done some type of vampire werewolf story as I really wanted to. I feel like I pronounce werewolf so weird and it sucks. I'm trying. But yeah, also here's the werewolf sim. Honestly, I fell so in love with the werewolf sim. I feel like he doesn't look like my typical male sim. I feel like my vampire sim looks like my typical male sims, just because I go usually for the same eye shape, the same lips, the same everything. And like for the werewolf, it was slightly different, in which I feel like his eyes were slightly bigger. They were slightly droopier before, but I think I slightly adjusted it because I just didn't want to make it too I'm still not comfortable with making male sims, so I didn't want to strive too far from my usual look. But yeah, like I absolutely fell in love with him, and even his whole color palette just works well. I feel like these two don't look exactly like teens, but I really tried to give them I really tried to make them similar to their cults, in which I wanted the vampire to look very mature and cold, while the werewolf looks very buff and warm. And so yeah, I feel like the werewolf is like a jock, probably plays football, and he's super friendly, while the vampire is more of a loner, just because like his diet is plasma, aka blood. But like, so yeah, I think the werewolf is chaotic though, in which he has a hard time controlling his fury, but he does try to protect the people around him, as he loves protecting the people he cares about. So yeah, I gave him chest hair as well, and arm and leg hair. I really wanted to show the chest hair, but I felt like it was too risque for a teen, and I also felt like I couldn't find anything that seemed like teen, and I don't think anything would seem like a teen that shows the chest. But yeah, so like onto the werewolf form. Honestly, I don't hate the werewolf form that came with the Sims, but it's really frustrating as I don't know how to make them threatening, especially like if the werewolf is like a white wolf. It's hard to make them threatening, as I feel like the eyebrow line cannot come down. Like for your Sims, you can make them seem a bit more threatening with the eyebrows, making them a bit more arched or whatever, but for the werewolves you can't. So of course I like to go with a fur color similar to the Sims hair, so I went for a dark brown fur color for the werewolf sim. And I guess because the color was darker, even though I couldn't adjust the eyebrow line like the way I wanted to, I was able to like paint it gave a shadowy feel, so that he seemed a bit more threatening. I don't know, you guys can tell me, but yeah, I don't know if there's some mods that might provide better sliders for werewolves, just because there probably is actually. Maybe I should look at that. But yeah, I do suck at creating werewolf sims, but I'm trying to get better at it. Also, I added a scar to the werewolf just because I like to add scars to my werewolf sims. I feel like maybe it tells a story of how they were turned, and maybe it was a fight or whatever, aka Greg. So yeah, so at first I gave it to the werewolf sim, like I painted it on. I'm not that good using the paint feature. I never really use it for the cats and dogs, but with this I really tried it, because I do like they gave us this option to be a bit more creative, especially depending on what type of werewolf we want to create. So that's why I don't that's why I don't hate how they made werewolves and how customizable they made them. But yeah, I really tried to make him threatening, like from his more buff but warm sim feel. I wanted to make his werewolf form a bit more darker. And yeah, so I did add a scar across the werewolf's eye, and because I didn't add it to the sim form, I went back to add it to the sim form. It's not the exact scar, but it works. I usually don't do it, but when I remember, I do. And so yeah, like I really fell in love with these sims, and I fell in love with the story that I kind of gave them. I still don't have the high school pack, but I hope in the coming weeks, when there's a patch that fixes the bugs of the game, I'll probably get it because I really want it. I love the cast to build by, and I do like the gameplay that's being introduced. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is the end of the cast. Of course, links in the description, and I'll upload it to my gallery. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.